Welcome to It's a Woman's World, where we'll meet achieving women making a difference in our community. I'm Carolyn Bruna. Our guest is Vickie Dellaquila, a certified professional organizer. Welcome, Vickie.
Well, thank you for having me, Carolyn.
Oh, I'm glad to have you here. I want to talk a little bit about your new book, which is called Don't Toss My Memories into the Trash, and also your business as a professional organizer called Organization Rules. First of all, I have to say, the title of your book really captures somebody's interest. It's amazing because the first time I read it, I went, oh, you know, when you have so many things, maybe I'm too connected to my things, but when you have so many things and you see that title, it really hits home. It's amazing. And how did you think of the title?
Well, you know, I've been a certified professional organizer and a senior mood manager for 7 years. And that is what happens in the world of downsizing and moving. A lot of times memories go in the trash. And I thought, gee, you don't really want to do that. So when I was writing my book, I thought, that's the thing you really don't want to do. You don't want to toss your memories in the trash.
Yes, absolutely. And that really affects people no matter what age almost, because I know I was telling you earlier, I love organizing, and then as you do it though, you think, gee, if I throw that away, that of course will be the thing that I need, you know, so yeah, it's interesting. But your business as Organization Rules, what kind of people do you help, and tell me exactly what you do?
Well, I started my business, Organization Rules, approximately 7 years ago. We help a couple different kinds of people. We work with clients in their homes who have a lot of clutter due to usually maybe a major transition in their life, such as a death of a loved one, a divorce, maybe even facing issues such as depression. So we help them declutter and get organized in their home to simplify their lives. And we also work with people who have issues with hoarding and help them with those types of issues. And then we also work with anybody who's making a transition from moving from one home to another. Many times it's seniors who are moving from a large home to a smaller home, to a condo, to retirement communities or assisted living. So we help them with the entire downsizing process, figuring out what they will take and all the resources needed, and then unpacking and organizing on the other end. Help them get settled into their new home.
And you do focus on seniors, which I'll talk about in a minute, but it doesn't have to be for only seniors.
No, it could be anybody. I had a client who was 24 who I helped with the whole transition process, moving from the East Coast to the West Coast. So it was difficult for her, so she needed a little help.
Well, how did you get into this type of business of organizing, and what's your background?
Well, as a child, I moved a lot. So I really loved organizing as a child. I didn't know that's what it was called. I just like to have my room flow a certain way to make it easier for me to live. And when we'd move, I'd be, first one with the box cutter. Please let me unpack and organize. And I just didn't even realize that about myself, but I always loved to organize. I have a nursing background. I'm a licensed practical nurse and worked for several years in a hospital. And I also have worked in social services. I worked as a caseworker in a nursing home, and I saw the need with seniors there to help them with downsizing. Unfortunately, in a nursing home, somebody is usually facing a healthcare crisis, such as maybe they fell and broke their hip. And then I would see, their children have to come in from either out of state or in town and take care of all these issues at one time, such as downsizing a home. So I thought, wouldn't it be nice if someone could help them years prior to a healthcare crisis? Because people would ask me, gee, how do I start? What do I do? How do I talk to my mom about maybe thinking about downsizing? How do I downsize? So I decided to write my book by gathering stories of people I have helped. A lot of people will read the book and they'll think, wow, that sounds like me, or that sounds like my mom. So the book will resonate with a lot of people, whether it's their mom, themselves, their grandmother, their aunt, their neighbor.
So it's from your own experiences.
Yes.
This is funny, but I was just thinking to myself as you were speaking, your parents must have loved you because you did all their unpacking.
I did. I did. And they were not very organized people, so they thought it was great.
That's wonderful. And so then you've put your skills to work to help other people.
Yes.
And I noticed you have a workbook that accompanies the book that's called Moving Workbook, and I realized the end of your book has tips on what to bring and how to keep track of it, and so the workbook itself are actually sheets where people can write things down?
Yes, I wrote the workbook because I saw what happened is people would just have scraps of paper with their new phone number, their new address, information about utility companies, and they would lose them. So I thought, wouldn't it be nice if they just had a workbook that all this information about what they needed to move would be in there. And there's also a floor plan area, so you can measure your furniture and make a floor plan on graph paper, because that's really important when you're moving, to know what to take, what will fit, especially if you're moving from 3,000 square feet down to maybe 700 or 800. It's quite a transition, so you really need to know that. So the workbook helps keep it all in one place.
And you know, I think the baby boomer generation is into moving to some smaller places more for efficiency so that they can travel.
Yes.
You know, and also I think it's less stressful when you have less around you, or it's more organized. I know sometimes if I have work to do, I can't even start it unless my desk is organized.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Being organized saves you time, saves you money. You have less stress. You're less, you're not searching for things that you've lost. You're not rebuying things. You have just a lot of stress. It's less things to take care of. So it really makes a difference in your life to be organized.
yeah. I want to talk about what prompts the downsizing for most seniors. We covered a little bit of that. You mentioned perhaps a death in the family, or what were the other reasons?
Well, I see also with the baby boomer, the younger senior, they're really tired of taking care of the 5-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 2-story home. Their children are grown, and it's just too much house for them. And they'd rather have a smaller, more compact home that fits their lifestyle now. And so they just don't want to do the home maintenance anymore. So I see that with the younger senior. With the older senior, many times it's a healthcare issue. They live in the 2-story home, stairs are becoming too difficult to manage, they need some extra help, and it's just too much. And also peace of mind for adult children with the older senior. It's very hard to have your mom in a 2-story home and worry about her falling.
As I was reading this, I was thinking to myself too, how I never realized the importance of hiring a professional to help you, but you had so many tips in there for the seniors. I'd like to get to some of the stories too. And I like the way that you've carried stories through, because you'd start a story and a tip about a particular aspect of a family, and then you'd later on carry it through with another aspect of that family. So you kind of learned a little bit about people, which makes it interesting, and people can relate
They
to
see
their own
themselves,
lives.
yes.
Yeah.